Hi everyone, you're watching St Blazey Model World and I'm Roger. In this programme, it's time to look at the contents of my toolbox for scale model making. I'll talk about the box itself later on, but the important thing to remember here is that thanks to this handle, it's in a grab and go format, and that's what matters. Let's have a look at what's inside. Now, as well as what's in the box is what is not in the box. I do not keep any glue or paint in this toolbox, nor do I keep my soldering irons or any bits of other bigger kit. They come with me separately if I think I'm going to need them. But let's crack on. Let's start with the top layer and see what's inside. Now, it might look like a pile of junk, but it really isn't. So let's pull it out bit by bit and see what we've got. First and foremost, of course, wire strippers. I use those all the time, not just in model railways, but any diorama where I think I'm going to need wiring for lighting and so on. Cocktail sticks, absolutely invaluable. I use them all the time, spacing, fine bits of detail, painting, all sorts of stuff. So they're always in there. If, like me, your eyes are not performing as well as they once did, you can do no worse than get one of these sort of optical visors. They're a little bit difficult to get used to, but once you do get used to them, they really are a godsend. And somewhere in here, let me just see, there they are. It comes with an extra set of magnifiers if you're working on a different topic or if your eyes need adjustment to the magnification that you've got. What else do we keep in here? I got several of these mini clamps. These are only sort of 4 to 5 inch clamps, but they are, again, absolutely invaluable for setting all sorts of stuff. Helping hands, let's pull that out. You need to have a set of these. If you don't, you really should have. If you're involved in any model making of any topic, any area, these things are absolutely invaluable. I think they're round about £6–7 UK sterling money. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, that reminds me. 1 second. As an alternative to helping hands for painting fine detail, I did a review on this, and it's a clamp set. It comes with a lot of clamps and this pegboard, so you can arrange things in any format and hold bigger objects rather than smaller ones. Right now, these are actually in use because they're painting the undertakers and the funeral scene for the village church for the 00 gauge exhibition layout that I'm building. But this gives you a really good example of how these things come into play. A notebook with me and a pencil. It's just basic stuff, isn't it? You know, jotting stuff down, measurements, notes, ideas, all that sort of thing. Always in there. Likewise, a number of these disposable pipettes. I said I didn't keep paint, and I don't in this box, but if I'm visiting somebody and helping them and they want to try some colour ideas, these things are absolutely pennies to buy. Likewise, a couple of spare clear jars. Gives you, a mixing bowl and a way to keep what you've mixed for a limited period of time in ready to go format again, and you can then decant this into an airbrush or use a traditional brush to paint with it, and you'll get the result that you hope for. What else do we have? Magnetic tray. I always keep a magnetic tray in here. If you're dismantling something, particularly model railways or RC vehicles, remote control vehicles, not everything that you take is going to be magnetic, but a lot of it will be. Stops it getting lost. Top layer here, I also keep my tracksetta templates. These ones are my 00 gauge ones. My N gauge set is currently in my loft because I'm working on my own layout for once. And just underneath those is, let me just move you forward, a small cutting mat. It's only an A5, but it does the job. What else do we have? I've got a foam cutter, always ready to go. And this article here. This is something that you may not be familiar with. This is what's known as a French curve. And this is a draftsman's instrument from quite a while back. Now it's all CAD-CAM, computer-aided design for computer-aided manufacture. But long before that, if you wanted to create curves on a set of plans, this was the way to go. And you can bend this thing into any sort of shape that you want. And I use it for profiling rock faces, laying out track plans, all sorts of things. These are on eBay, and you will find them from time to time. But again, it lives with me in this toolbox. It really is a great bit of kit. And if you're interested to find out more about any of the things that are in this toolbox, then drop me a comment in the comments section below, and I'll try and answer your questions about where these things have come from. Drawers in this unit come with dividers, and you can either leave those in place or remove them. I choose to leave them in place. I've got, let's go this way. I've got a set of scalpel blades. My scalpel is upstairs. Set of craft knives and some spare blades for that. That one's just sitting vacant at the moment. I've got a set of tweezers, or several sets of tweezers. A couple of emery boards for fine filing. This is a carbon pencil. I use this on model trains mainly. And underneath those sits a set of needle files. Again, absolutely invaluable if you're working on fine detail stuff. Cheap to buy, why wouldn't you have them? Down, I've got on this side my model masking tape. Most of this is Tamiya stuff, but it's equivalent to the blue masking tape that you can buy now. If you're hoping to get straight lines on your models by painting, please do not waste your time, money, effort, paint, or anything else on the traditional masking tape that you can buy. The grain is far too coarse, it will bleed. This product has a very, very fine grain, soft glue. It really does give good adhesion, and it doesn't bleed or allow paint to bleed through it. Cheap to buy, available everywhere. Again, get some. In this drawer, I've got a bit of a mishmash because it's my way. Some spare cutting discs. I talked about things that don't live in here. My rotary tool doesn't live in this toolbox, but some spare cutting discs for rails. Sharpening stone and a track cleaner. Little oil pen for precision oil pen for oiling up locos or RC models, anything like that. Spare battery. Why would I have that? Well, if you want to test something, most lighting systems and model railway systems use 12-ish volts, depending upon what they are. And a smoke alarm battery at least allow you to apply some initial power to something to find out if it actually works. You can then further, of course, go into the fine detail on your wiring, but it's about being able to test something before you actually spend any further time on it. This is my back-to-back gauge. Again, this is for 00 gauge, 14.5 millimeters, and it makes sure that the flange wheels, or the flanges of the wheels on my rolling stock and locos, are of the right distance. Absolutely invaluable in helping you diagnose derailments. Doesn't cost a lot of money, and it doesn't look like it's all that useful, but it really is. Get one. These are my wooden tool bits that I, drill bits that I use, and these are for these things, which are, I think these came from DCC Concepts, DCC. I can't remember how many C's, but from that company anyway. And these are for joining baseboards together. And these are the drills that you need, the twist drill there and these two drills to put these in properly into your baseboards. Talking of drills, I've also got, of course, my mini drill, my pin vise drill. Here it is, with an arrangement of bits. Again, absolutely invaluable. Pair of Xeron track cutters. I don't always use the rotary option. It depends what I'm doing, but these really do come into their own. Not just for track cutting, of course. You can use them for kit removal. You know, if you're building a plastic kit, nipping stuff off the sprue, brilliant. And this is a template for fitting DCC Concept IP cobalt point motors. Get that right, that's a mouthful. Again, it just saves you so much time. Lastly, in here I've got this little thing which tests track power. You really need a multimeter if you want to measure exactly how much power you've got, but this little gadget gives you a very quick yes or no. The will to live yet. In the next set of drawers down, on one side I keep my mini pliers and a few pairs of forceps, absolutely ideal. And on the other side, a set of mini screwdrivers, a couple of nut drivers in there, one or two other miscellaneous drivers as well. Absolutely brilliant. And again, when you're working on this fine stuff, you really can't do without them. Don't panic, we're near the end now. And as you may have seen in the introduction, this drawer contains a number of paint brushes, foam brushes, and my makeup brushes that I use for applying weathering powder and weathering techniques. Just a collection of stuff, really. That's all it is, just a collection of brushes. And lastly, in the bottom drawer, not very much in there. I actually keep in here my cradle, Loco servicing cradle. I've got a combination square just for measuring up and assessing baseboards and track geometry. What else is in here? Forget about that. That's a speaker for another project. No, it's not. It's a motor for another project. I've got in here a couple of mini clamps at the bottom, and inside this box is my vernier gauge, which again does actually come in more use than you would think. You know, you assume that you know that your track geometry is right, but you need a vernier gauge to measure it, and that's the one I use. Now, the box itself is a wooden toolbox. As you can see, it's what's commonly known as a toolmaker's toolbox, and as you may have noticed during the tour, the drawers are actually lined with felt. It's kind of a luxury. I keep talking on my channel about saving money wherever you can and using that money for something more interesting, more appealing to you, whatever it may be. And to me, this is my, one of my few luxuries in scale model making. I love this thing. It wasn't cheap, the thick end of £145 UK sterling money. But compare it to many of the plastic alternatives that are out there, this will last me forever. Certainly it's going to outlive me. So I hope you found this video interesting. Remember, there was a lot of stuff in this box, and you don't have to get it all in one go. Buy one item every week or every couple of weeks, depending upon your budget, and you'll soon find that you've got a toolbox in a grab and go format ready to go of your very own, and hopefully you'll be able to make use of it. We'll see you next time on St. Blazy Model World. Bye bye for now.